All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being with us here today. Before we get started, as a reminder, if you have your cell phone on you or any other devices, please silence your ringers and notifications while we are busy with today's press conference. We will begin with our opening remarks from our four speakers. Following that, we will begin with questions here in the room. For those media participating online, we will take your questions at the end if there are any other additional questions. If you would like to ask a question online, please raise your hand to join the queue. We're going to begin with opening remarks from the 15th president of North Dakota State University, David Cook, who spent the last 4 years here at NDSU. Dr. Cook.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm here to announce, I think, the breaking news, right, that North Dakota State University has accepted an invitation from the Mountain West to join football only this fall. And with that, we're incredibly excited as an institution. It's a great day for North Dakota State University, certainly. It's a great day for North Dakota, and it's a great day for our region. For me, this is really a testament to, as I think about this institution and all those who played athletics and all the folks who led our football teams over the past few decades, all the hard work that they did long before I ever got here, long before I knew what North Dakota State was, and the legacy that they left and our ability to continue with that is something I'm going to be very proud of as I exit this institution. It really speaks volumes to everything that came before us, all the hard work, and the hard work that people are doing right now. A lot of people are right here in this room that are going to continue to elevate NDSU to the next level. This has incredibly significant impacts on this institution. It gives us a national presence, more so than we've ever had. It impacts our ability, I think, to recruit faculty and staff and students from across the region, and frankly, it might even help us a little bit in recruiting a new president right around the corner, and for that, I'm incredibly grateful and incredibly excited. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also add, today doesn't happen here without the people up here on the stage with me and all the folks in the room. I'd like to compliment Matt Larson for his leadership as athletic director. This did not happen overnight. And to Matt's credit and a lot of the folks here, you guys have been working hard at this to make sure when we made this step, we're going to do it the right way, and we are ready, and we're excited. And I'd also add we got the right coach to make sure we're going to knock it out of the park. And for that, I'm also incredibly grateful. So thank you all for being here, and I'll turn it back over to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Dr. Cook. Next, the Director of Athletics at North Dakota State University in his 12th year, Mr. Matt Larson.
Thanks, Ryan. I have to admit, I heard President Cook announce that formally yesterday. We met with a small group of our media partners, and even though I've been involved with this, it really kind of hit me for the first time and pretty special. So, you know, as he mentioned, an exciting and historic day for NDSU and for Bison football. Is, you know, Mike, I thought you wrote a great article yesterday. This wasn't about, you know, something that occurred over the course of the last couple of months. This was something that I would say probably extended beyond 3.5, 4 years ago. I think back to when I first started here, my first week on the job, and people were asking me when we're going FBS football, and that's almost 12 years ago. But this needed to take time. We needed to make sure we were ready, we were prepared. You think about what we've accomplished in those 12 years to get to this point, what we've done from a facilities, from a scholarships, from an Alston Awards, cost of attendance, to make sure we were prepared when the time came. Because if you know NDSU history, if we're going to do something, we're going to go in and compete for championships right away, and it was really important to make sure that we were poised to be able to do this. But this was made possible by efforts of a lot of people. It was really neat yesterday meeting with the team. As you can imagine, pretty cool reaction and response from them. Even though they had heard some of the rumors. But, you know, this is all about our current and former players. You know, our guys right now have an opportunity to probably be part of one of the most historic times in NDSU history. And so really excited for that group, really proud of that group. But the amount of text messages I've received from former players and just how proud they are of their alma mater, this institution, and this athletic program. Current and former coaches had a really cool conversation with Craig Bowl. I think he was emotional on the other side and talked about what this institution means to him. So you think over our history, the standard that has been set by our former coaches, and Coach Polasek and his staff have continued to carry that forward. So incredibly grateful for them. You know, faculty, staff, and students of NDSU. The things I always marvel at NDSU is we're all pulling in the same direction, regardless of what it is, whether that's Division I athletics, whether it's FBS football, whether it's research, whether it's enrollment, we're all pulling in the same direction. So a real credit to just that unified front. Fans, alumni, donors, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the unbelievable support that we get day in and day out across all of our sports programs. And the citizens of North Dakota. We are now, there's one less state now that doesn't have an FBS program, and that really is something that we're proud of, something that we're going to take a lot of pride in kind of carrying that forward. But I think this represents a long-term strategy, not just for athletics, but for the institution. President Cook and I talked a lot about this isn't a 2 to 3 year decision. This is a decision for the next 20 to 30 years in terms of aligning ourselves with institutions that look a lot like NDSU, continuing to grow our brand nationally, and I think we've certainly accomplished that. Why the Mountain West? As you all know, I just can't call up any league and say, hey, we'd love to join, and we just kind of move in. But as we looked at all the different things out there, truly thought it was the best fit. I think opportunity to play football at the highest level, which you've heard me say ad nauseum over the course of the last probably 4 or 5 years. I think the institutional alignment, the investment in high education, high research, and then obviously athletics at the highest level. Great competition throughout the league. And then I also think regional love for our fans to travel. That was something that was really important to us. Unbelievable fan base. They like to travel, some pretty neat destinations, but the ability for them to still travel, follow our programs, and support it. A lot of questions about why football only. Well, in a lot of ways, we have the best of both worlds. We've been fortunate to be in the Summit League for a number of years, have 8 great institutions, a lot of regional rivalries. Makes a lot of sense for us to continue to compete there. And so this allowed us to elevate football to play at the highest level. And so excited to continue to build on the rivalries we have in the Summit League. A couple thank yous I have. This decision is about leadership. You hear me talk about the alignment of leaders at the highest level is really important to move athletics forward. So President Cook, your leadership throughout this has been really, really appreciated. As we've talked, this was day one of our agenda when we first met 3.5 years ago. And so your leadership, your support, and ultimately helping us get this across the finish line has been really appreciated. And then Rick, for you to come in and late, but I think also understand the impact that this has on the future of NDSU, and we're all in from day one. So appreciate both of your leadership as we kind of got this across the finish line. Coach Polasek, Jeff and I were joking yesterday. There were minor details why we couldn't finalize, his contract extension, and so now we've had all those minor details kind of ironed out. But, this also doesn't happen without a leader of the program who believes in it, who believes we can be successful at the highest level. And so really just grateful. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, so just appreciate our relationship and partnership as we move the program forward. Our athletic department staff, this wasn't Matt Larson, Dave Cook, Rick Berg, and Tim Polasek doing this in a vacuum. Our staff did an unbelievable job over the course of the last decade in positioning us to be able to do this. That's our head coaches, that's our directors, that's our senior staff who just continue to believe in what we're doing here as an institution. And then just the last probably 36 hours, the work that a lot of our folks did in putting together a campaign, getting all the things ready, so we made sure that we launched this the right way for our fans and our donors and our community. So really appreciate all of you. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, Commissioner Jeff Jackson, Executive Advisor Josh Fenton, and former Commissioner Patty Viverito who reached out. Just grateful for our time in the Valley. The best league in the country by far at the FCS level. Consistent competition week in and week out, and they challenged us. And we've had some great games, some great moments, and some great rivalries. So just really grateful for that home for the last 18 years and being a part of something really, really special. So thanks to all of them. FCS football. We've been FCS for 22 years, and you think about the journey that we've had during that time, incredible moments, incredible highs, incredible lows, championship level moments, playing in the best championship at the football in college football. And so this decision isn't about FCS. It's about what's best for NDSU. FCS is going to be just fine, right? There's a lot of people who invest, who care a bunch, and I'm excited to continue to watch FCS continue to grow. The Mountain West staff, Commissioner Gloria Navarez, have gotten to know her and her staff, Brett Gilliland, John Sullivan, Gary Walenga, were really instrumental as we navigated this process over the course of maybe the last 2 years, but more recently the last couple of weeks, and excited to work with them, excited to help build the brand of that league, and our goal is to come in and be competitive right away and add value, and I think we certainly have the ability to do that. And then last, in terms of thank yous, Bison Nation. We would not be in this position if it wasn't for our fans, our donors, our students, the people that have invested in us, have believed in us over the years, and we're going to need their help moving forward. But really proud. This is as much for them as it is for me, President Cook, President Berg, or our football program and Coach Polasek. This is for Bison Nation, and so really proud to finally bring it home and excited for the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Next, we'll continue with the head football coach entering his third season at North Dakota State, Tim Polasek.
Well, good afternoon, and thanks for being here. Everything he said. I think this was a crazy, exciting weekend for all of Bison Nation, the university, North Dakota State University, and I think for the state, I really do. Thank you to these guys. Our leadership and this process obviously hasn't been easy all the time, and the hard work that they put in and the leadership and the guidance has put us in position recruiting-wise, moving forward in 2027 class, so forth and so on. I want to take, and we talk in terms a lot about the former players, but I really believe the BFPA and, the former players have positioned us and now the current team for this unbelievable outstanding opportunity to get to compete at the highest level. Well, without the winning, without the hard work that has occurred, specifically the last 22 years, but every time we talk in recruiting, we do not take the D2 success lightly. And so from all the former players, all the former coaches that have positioned our staff and our people now in position for this great challenge, really thankful. The lifeblood of our program is the former players, the former staff members, and it's quite exciting. I believe that our people, the people that we have, the staff that we have assembled, the leadership that we have in our program, and the players, I believe that we can compete and prove and be tough daily, and we are super excited and appreciative that Mountain West extended this invitation, and it's going to be a fun ride, and we got a lot of work to do, but we're excited about that work. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Polasek. And finally, to interim President Rick Berg.
Well, thank you. I had a chance to kind of be involved this last week, and we just have to be really proud of the team of leaders we have. The work that Dr. Cook did, Matt, his whole team, it was just really fascinating for me to see them work together. And I've been to every national championship, and it's been a real thrill. But this is such a great moment, and just, again, thank you, all three of you. We couldn't have a better leadership team. Created some really big shoes to fill, but the other thing that was kind of interesting in the discussions, one of the concerns was, will NDSU be competitive? And I think we will. Unlike others, we've been preparing for this moment for years and years. And I think they're going to be surprised when NDSU hits the Mountain West. And finally, I think, one of the things that really strikes me is this is fantastic for athletics, all of athletics, but I also think it's going to be an FBS for our faculty, for our staff, for our students, and for our alumni. I think all of those areas are going to grow and help NDSU grow as a university. So it's an exciting time.
All right, thank you. We will open up for questions here in the room. If you have a question, please state your name and who you're with so that we can identify for the speakers or for the listeners who are online.
Also, over 20% towards Matt. This has been a long flirtation, if you will, with the Mountain West Conference. Are you willing to discuss kind of the timeline when it became closer to reality and kind of how those things obviously then in concert with Tim's new contract and kind of that line of questioning, I guess?
Yeah, probably started, well, a little bit. I would say it's been a couple of years in the making. I mean, there were minor overtures here and there over the years and, over the course of the last couple of years, but I think really kind of accelerated a little bit this fall. And a lot of it had to do with just there's been so much change and I don't want to say turmoil in the NCAA. And so we've gotten past some of those things, house settlement and NCAA governance. So some of those conversations begin to pick up again in November. And kind of gradually made their way through. Tim and I had a lot of conversations before when he first got here. Part of the hiring process was, hey, this is, I think, our vision at some point down the road. But it seemed a little more serious this time. And so we pulled out all of the work that we had done and say, hey, let's go back and double check our work now and make sure that a lot of things have changed maybe since we were last looked at that. And so he was great. His team was great to say, okay, here's what we think we need to have in this new world of college athletics. And conversations continued through December and January, and then really picked up probably the last couple of weeks where I said to President Cook, I said, I think this is going to happen. And so, I think the thing a little bit was looming out there was, his departure and, wanting to make sure that we were able to pull this together. And that's what was great about this transition of both President Cook and President Berg, I think just being 100% supportive of this. So I would say probably over the course of the last 3 months, but really picked up over the course of the last couple of weeks.
Dr. Cook, Dom Izzo, WDOI. How important was this to get done before you were out the door?
Well, for me, this was important for me to get it done, but I think it's important for the university to make sure that it was the right decision at the right time, for the future of the institution. And so I'm elated that we got this thing done, but I think it's a little bigger than that. And that's why I really appreciate President Berg that, us pulling this together on my last day as president was critical, but we needed to know that we had the support of the institution moving forward and have the buy-in that this is good for NDSU, if not great, and for the future of the institution. And that's why it's just, I'm deeply appreciative of President Berg that he supported this as we move forward as well.
I wanted to use a negotiating tactic that I wasn't for the Mountain West. They better get it done quick.
Jeff Colby with Forum. Matt, scheduling, and when do you hope to have that wrapped up, or when can you expect that?
Todd, this afternoon, right, I think? Or no, that is priority number one. We've already reached out to the Mountain West. I think they're trying to finalize conference schedule because that'll be really important. But I think for us, really, it's the non-conference schedule. We have a call later on today about scheduling specifically with kind of a national guru of scheduling. So I'd love to say here in a couple of weeks, but we have a lot of moving parts to it. But so no pressure, Todd. That's the plan going into at least this year. I don't know long term, but I know that's the plan for this fall.
Hold on to any of your non-conference games?
I think at least one FCS game we'd like to hold on to, and so we're going to start having conversations with those schools as well, just so, again, and we want to be good partners if there's opportunities for us to find games for them as we're trying to find games for us. But I think moving forward, we're going to look to have a Power 4 game if possible. We'll have the 8 conference games. We'll have some home and homes with some group of 6 schools, and then we'll usually have an FCS game at home as well.
Coach, you have 22 more scholarships than you did a couple of days ago. Is there anything, how do you approach that with the 2026 group? Is that more about rewarding guys that are already here? Are there things that you can do to go after guys with this new information? How do you kind of see that shaking out?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different things going on from an evaluation standpoint. Obviously we're moving forward with the 27 class. We've been proactive right now. The guys are on position scouting and things like that for high school kids. And so I think we have to be mindful of, how it is that we want to move forward. We always want to maintain being a developmental program, but where are the slight changes in our minimals as we look at things? And then for the 26 group, nothing changes tomorrow, right? This is more July 1st and beyond, how we look at our team. There will be guys that will stay on the scholarships they're on, and there will be most certainly opportunities for us to quickly get those guys advanced to full scholarships, because you're really talking about 85 equivalencies now and opposed to 63. And so we're identifying some things, and we've got to really do a good job with our time right now and time on task. What are the important things, and excited to get the spring ball and our skills and drills right now so we can evaluate our team for those exact questions. But we'll be methodical and very true to our process, our evaluation process of our own guys this spring, and then continue to move 27 recruiting forward.
We're in the Mountain West. How's your roster stack up? Do you have to change it much, or how do you address that?
Yeah, no, I like the football team. We've always kind of mentioned, how good the Missouri Valley Conference was up front, from a physical standpoint. The coaching staff, I think we align very well with, the Mountain West. I think where our skill level is at, the improvements of that over the last 4 or 5 years position us better than we would have been 10 years ago in the skill area. And so you just have to continue to recruit the best people you can. But for us, it's always going to still come back to the fit, and the culture fit and the work ethic that these guys have. But I like our football team a lot. We've always talked in terms of recruiting to a group of 6 level, and I think we've continued to do that. So I think we're in position to be very competitive. But make no mistake about it, that conference has very good coaches and really good players. There's been a lot of good skill guys that have come out of that league and have played at the high levels as all pros and NFL players, and so that's exciting stuff. But I like our ability to go in and compete and not figure out as we go. We're not doing that here. This is about winning. It always has been. But there's going to be a process to, figuring out exactly, okay, where do we exactly need to improve and continue to attack that, like always.
Maybe the term right of first refusal isn't the right one, but if there were to come a day where your values for the non-football sports in the Mountain West value, like if that were to ever come together, are you kind of on a short list now being a football affiliate, or how do you sort of view that potentially in the future?
There are opportunities within our membership agreement down the road if there's mutual interest from the league and from us. I think our goal going into this on the front end was this was football only from their perspective, and we said, hey, let's make sure we invest and able to be successful, and we'll see what the future holds. But that's where, again, we're really fortunate. The Summit League has been just a really good home for us, and like our rivalries that we have right now, and it's a league that we can compete in and win consistently. So who knows what the future may hold, but there could be an opportunity.
It was discussed or reported there was negotiated about the entry fee. Can you discuss what that language and where the money is coming from for the transition fee and the entry fee?
So, I mean, the transition fee, we're not FBS yet. We have to go through an FBS reclassification application through the NCAA, and that does carry a $5 million fee that goes with it. Deadline for that is June 1st for this upcoming year. So we're in the process of putting that together. And then the entry fee is $12.5 million. And that was something that we negotiated with them. And then we've been really fortunate because this has been, at least we thought there could be a possibility. We've been out meeting with donors, and I think the response from those folks before the announcement was really, really positive. And then just the reaction we've seen, I think, since the announcement has been really positive. So we got some work to do. We're going to go meet with them. But again, that's why I said Bison Nation has always answered the bell and will continue to answer the bell.
Privately funded.
Large compared to what some other schools have paid to get in the league recently. Did that give you any pause when the number was whatever it was before you worked it down?
I think it always does, right? But I think for us, again, we looked at this in a couple of different ways. I think every decision carries risk, and the risk of going or the risk of not going, certainly weighed into this a little bit. But that's why I think we've had a pro forma financial kind of calculation, regardless of what league it was going to be. So we knew going in that there's going to be an opportunity. We need to invest in our program. But at the FBS level, there's opportunities for revenues that you won't have access to at the FCS level. And so for us, yeah, it might seem like a big number, but again, this was about a 30-year decision, not just the next couple of years. And so we felt, as an institution, comfortable. One, we can raise it, we can generate revenue to pay for that, while investing in our football program, and so felt that that was the right decision.
What was the reaction of the team when you told them?
It was, I don't know if you guys saw the revealing when we did the white uniforms. It was probably times 10 of that. I mean, it was cool. The initial reaction was one thing, but as Matt kind of left the front of the room, the players recognized we've got great kids and they're smart and they get it. And they recognized, I think, the work that he had done and the work of our leadership, and they in turn gave him a standing ovation, or us a standing ovation, or each other. It was big time. It was pretty. It was one of those moments like, okay, maybe we should have had a camera in there, but I thought it should be a team thing only, and they're pumped up. But after the fact of the team meeting, it was interesting to see those guys on a Sunday, a pretty important Sunday, Super Bowl, how much conversation and how excited they were for each other, and the staff members, getting a chance to correspond with them was pretty cool.
Coach, think about Coach Ball and that 04, 05, 06 group with Steve Walker, Joe Mays, et cetera, unable to compete at the FCS championship level. You're unable to compete in the Mountain West championship game and ineligible for a bowl. What's your conversation like regarding that, and then especially with upperclassmen?
Well, right now it won't be much of a conversation at all, but come late November and December, as we get in position to attack our roster from an NIL standpoint, which that's where the support of this is critical. I think those conversations will pick up then, when we get to talking to upperclassmen, juniors, and seniors of what they want to do. What is their legacy? Is it finishing it here and positioning the group of men that we have to compete potentially for the opportunity in the college football playoff? I mean, so we'll cross all those conversations, those bridges. I plan on meeting and being around the team a lot this summer, available for them. And then we'll do what we did this year as well, in August and then in November, or when we get a bye week, we got to have, it's constant conversations on that topic regardless. Are they happy? What are they looking for? In some cases, what are their agents looking for? And so that's where the support comes in, and I'm just excited about all that. We're kicking off Climb the Mountain campaign that's already been started, and that's just one of the ways that, we got to be in position to be able to support these guys to get them to stay.
Look, Aaron Walling, KVRR Sports. When you first got here, I remember asking you what you envisioned with NDSU. What's this mean that your final chapter here, a bow on getting NDSU football to the FBS level?
Well, I don't think about it in terms of my final chapter. I really do think about it as kind of the next chapter for the university, certainly in the history of NDSU athletics and everything you've heard these guys talk a little bit about. I think building on the legacy of what's happened before I ever got here, and I'm proud that what we all did together is really positioning the institution, but also NDSU athletics to take that next step. And for me, that's really what it's all about. Leaving this place better where you found it, and excited about what this means. And this is transformational, a change and an opportunity for this institution to take it to the next level. And I'm going to be excited to watch that from a distance.
Cullen Holt, WDAY. I know you guys have kept student fees pretty low, or at least tried to. Is there a possibility in the future that those would go up to pay for travel and new expenses with being FBS? And Matt or President Berg, you can answer that.
There's no plan, at least initially in year one. I think those are conversations we've actually had already engaged with conversations with student government a little bit. I think just when you look at comparatively where NDSU student fees are across versus our FCS or FBS competitors, they're very, very different. And so I think there's opportunities for a conversation to have with students moving forward.
Yeah, are you going to have access to the TV revenue and the CFP revenue as an FBS now?
So CFP initially, no. There is some opportunity for some of the media revenue here in the first 6 years until we get to 2032 with a new TV contract.
When did when did that invitation come through, and what was going through your mind knowing that this was a huge moment for your program and for the school?
Well, it was. I spent a lot of time. I was in Florida doing some fundraising. We had some foundation events down there. I think I was actually in Chris Kleiman's driveway. having conversations with the people to my right and coach to my left, when the president finally approved extending an offer to us, and then it was a matter of, okay, let's finalize contracts and those things. But so on it really didn't hit me really until, like I said yesterday, when President Cook told some local folks here that, you know, that we've accepted an invite to the Mountain West and we're reclassifying to FBS. I think it all kind of hit me at that point. But again, I think it just goes to show it's a lot of years and a lot of hard work by a lot of people to even put us in the position to, and that's always been our goal. Is we knew this was where we wanted to be, but you know, we can't always control our own destiny, but we can control the things we're doing and the investments, the improvements we made. So when an opportunity presented, we were ready to say yes.
How long there will be no CFP revenue?
Till 2032.
Feasibility study done, I think, in 21, if I'm not mistaken. What did that tell you at that time, and how have you changed since in the ensuing 5 years?
I think the biggest thing for us is what we learned from that is do a lot of benchmarking across other leagues. So you see a little bit of what the level of investment is. And so for us, we could then compare to, okay, where are we now? Where do we think we could be? What other new revenues will be unlocked? Now, you know, Mike, a lot of things have changed since 21. That was pre-NIL, pre-Rev, all of those things. So that's why we've updated here in the last year or so, just to make sure, okay, if we're going to do this, we needed to make sure it was a good financial decision, not just for athletics, but the institution. And so, but that was mostly to say, okay, can we do this? And if we're doing it, we want to compete at the highest level.
Budget is where now, and where does it have to be? So that's an ongoing, the $17.5 million is a one-time thing. The budget is
Correct.
for everything.
I mean, right now, all in, we're probably around between 7 and 8 million. And so areas that we're going to invest, I won't necessarily throw out a number, but areas we're going to invest in additional scholarships, additional NIL, additional support positions. Travel in the Mountain West is a lot different than it is in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Recruiting footprint, the amount of time that you can be out, the number of coaches that can be out. So there's going to be an increase, and it's going to be a significant increase, but we'll get it to a level where we can compete based on dollars in Fargo, North Dakota.
Will it be privately funded as well, or is there?
Well, I would say, I mean, like I said, the nice thing about opportunities for FBS is there are other revenue streams that come in. So yes, donors will be a big part of that, but there are other revenue streams that will support that increase in expenses.
The additional scholarships, do you have to fund additional women's scholarships? Is there potential to add another women's program? Can you discuss that?
So we've, long before I got here, but we've carried it always forward, is every year we do a Title IX evaluation with Dan Cohen, who's one of the best in college athletics. And so based on even with the addition of here, we're actually still compliant from a Title IX perspective. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean we may not look to add sports down the road. I think we're always looking at what are opportunities to enhance enrollment, enhance our portfolio. But at this current moment, there isn't a plan to add an additional sport, male or female.
And potentially your non-conference consisting of one FCS game. Is there any chance that could be a Valley school or any type of current rivalry that you could service down? I mean, I'm sure the 2027 thing in Vegas is probably what that's going to be in 2027, but down the road.
Yeah, I would say that's not something we would close the door on. Again, I mean, I think we'd be open to playing just about anybody from an FCS perspective as we try to fill out our schedule. So we haven't spent a whole lot of time thinking about that or talking about that yet, but I don't think we would close the door on anybody.
A chance to potentially leave this offseason. How much was this, knowing this potential could happen, entice you to stay?
Jill and I have never been on this solid of ground with our conversations over the last 3 months that were kind of forced on us with some of our opportunities. But I think when that stuff comes up, it really makes you take a hard look at what do you want out of life, where do you want to do it. And I just know if there was 5% chance going back to late November or early December, I wanted to have a chance to take our staff who's in the back, and I wanted to be on the sideline with them. I wasn't really looking for any other opportunity but that. I think this puts us right where we want to be with a lot of intentional focus on how to get the job done, and that's pretty exciting.
You reflect on the past, how many years you've been with NDSU. What's it mean, though, the players and the coaching staff, the fans that help get you guys to this point?
Well, I mean, I made some calls yesterday too. I've talked to Chris Kleiman a bunch over the last week, not about specifics, but just I thanked Coach Kramer yesterday. When it did break, I called him right away and said, man, without you, I don't know if we're in this position. I called Coach Gazer. I mean, those are to mention a few, former players that are in the coaching business, right? Tyler Roll, AJ Cooper, those guys are ecstatic. But without the former players, and without our primary support is just so good, right? Like, those people have obviously created and cultivated new opportunities for our players now and for us as a staff. It means everything. That's what this is all about. To me, it's about the university. It's about moving the university forward, and however we can help with that, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to continue to push and put us in the best position to win them all.
Time for about one more question or two, if there are any here in the room. Are there any questions online? Not seeing any questions online either. We will wrap up there. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for everybody being here this afternoon with us.
Willis. Huh? Where? Really won't change it.